Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Bev, the owner and designer of all things Uniko. Welcome to day 3 of the 13th birthday February release product introductions. If you've come via the blog, you'll know that we are introducing background blocks waves and alphabet solid. I'm not sure you can actually see the whole alphabet in the frame, as it is one of our larger stamp sets. If you've been around these parts before for a while, you'll know that I have alphabet outline, which was released a few years ago now. I'll bring it into view here. So I've got my solid version as well. Now originally I planned on releasing these two together because they can be used separately obviously, but together as well. But I changed my mind last minute and I only brought out the alphabet outlines because you can make these solid depending on what ink you use, and if you've got matching markers you can colour them exactly the same. Anyway, I decided now was the time to bring out the solid version, so that's what I'm doing today. And obviously we have this fun new background as well. You know that I love instant pattern and stripes. They just add so much fun to your cards and make for reasonably quick card making, depending on technique and things that you use. So I thought we'd have a little look at a couple of cards that I've made and shared on the blog. This first one, as you can see, I've done a rainbow background. This was achieved again with some simple masking. It was a little bit time consuming. You need to use your stamping platform to stamp each colour and work through the rainbow. And then I've paired it with yesterday's reintroduction of bright butterflies, and I used all 3 shapes of butterfly in shades of pink, sort of an ombre effect, and again used a sentiment from a set that we will be introducing tomorrow. So this is super fun and I really enjoyed making it. Next up is this Father's Day card. Now normally I don't use stamps that are currently out of stock, but I don't know if you saw my newsletter yesterday and my announcement across social media. I now have an announce me when back in stock feature on the website. So if there is anything that is currently out of stock that you've been waiting for, pop your email in and I'll be notified. And then what I'm going to do is the products that have the highest requests for will go to the top of the list on next restocks. So let me know and I can work out what people are after and get that rectified. So this little boat is from Nautical Treasures. It came out quite a while ago. It's perfect for masculine cards, and I thought I'd dust it off and add it to this card here using the wave background, which I've done in an ombre effect using alt new inks. I used these yesterday in my video for a layering stencil. They come in sets of 4 from light to dark shades, and they're just perfect for getting that lovely ombre effect without having to really think about it. So I used this one that's got sea glass, ocean waves, dusk and desert night in it. Then I simply stamped the boat over the top albeit a little bit wonky. And then I added these sentiments. This happy is from Simply Said's blocks, and then the Father's Day is from the newest version of Simply Said blocks occasions that came out in January. Then for my third card on the blog today, as you can see, it's got a few marks on it already. I used the background blocks waves and I stamped it sideways, or landscape I should say, just so you see a peek of it. And then I created my own stamped sentiment, which is one thing I love about alphabets, being able to create your own greeting in any colour that you want. It's a really good size for impact, and there's various samples on the alphabet solid the alphabet outlined product page. There's a few examples where I've used the alphabet to create unique personalized cards, so it's super fun. So I thought I would yesterday, if you remember, I stenciled these two butterflies. Well, I've fussy cut them out, and I thought what I'd do today is create a background using the background blocks waves that I could attach these to create another card. And I'll try to demonstrate. I'm not very good at eyeing it up, mainly because my outline alphabet, as you see, some of my favourite colours, I used an ink that doesn't wash off very well. It wasn't StazOn, it was, I think it was Catherine Pooler's Midnight, which is a lovely black ink, but it stains your stamps. So some of my favourite letters are quite tricky now to do this lovely overlay sort of look, but I thought, well, I'll try it, I'll give it a go today. Anyway, where's my stamping platform that I had? There it is. It's a bit chaotic in the studio with a new release happening. It's the way it goes. So I've already got my wave background placed inside my stamping platform from when I created this card. So this white panel is 9.5 by 13.5 centimeters. So I've got it nicely placed that it'll work. So I didn't move it. So I've got a panel of white card to the same measurements, and I'm just going to pop it inside. So when I use my stamping platform, depending on what I'm doing, but if I'm doing repeat stamping with a solid block, for instance, or I want to be able to make sure that it's fully covered, you know, that you get a nice solid image, I'll always place my card in a corner. That way, if my card moves when I lift the stamp up, sometimes newer stamps can be a little bit more sticky, depending on the ink you use. This bottom piece, no matter how hard you secure it, sometimes it does move. So if that happens, if you work inside a corner, if you can, then you know every time it's going to be in exactly the same place. So I thought, because I want to either attach both butterflies, the pink and the blue, we'd go for maybe a yellow background. And again, I'm going to go for an ombre background, something quite bright and cheerful. I've got this set of 4 here that's citrus burst, fresh lemon and maple yellow. The honey drizzle I know is quite dark. We'll see how 3 colours go. And knowing me, I might change my mind. So I will get that one out and put it to the side just in case. So there's no real art to how I do an ombre effect. As I say, it's a little bit easier than creating the rainbow effect that I did, because that takes a little bit of masking, and with the curves of the block, it was a little bit time consuming, so I won't bore you with doing that today. I believe I shared a video a while back. I think it was using background blocks rays, because someone had asked me how I got the rainbow effect. So I did a video showing how I do that effect. So I've got this like hockey puck thing here, which helps with a little bit of pressure on my stamping platform. Hopefully you see here how the stamp is quite sticky, so my card was moving even though I've used temporary adhesive and I've got a couple of magnets. It does lift up. So I've done the citrus burst, and then I'm just going in with the next darker shade. These are more inks that definitely need re-inking. I'm going to have to spend a day shortly. I did all my Concord 9 things not long ago, but I neglect these ones and I must re-ink them so they don't dry out. So I might get a little bit of overlap, but that doesn't matter too much. But this little pressure tool doesn't half help if you struggle with wrist strength or just being able to press down heavy. The top of my right arm does aches now and then, and I find putting pressure hurts a little bit, so this helps. I guess it's just another sign of me getting a little bit older. So I'm going in here with the darker shade, so I'm up to maple yellow. So I might just use the 4th colour at the bottom. So what I do is I tend to do all 4 colours, and then when I've done all 4 colours, I go back and I fill in and play about a bit till I'm happy with the mix and how the colours are sitting together. That one seems to have got a little bit of green on it. So going in with the honey drizzle, which was the darker colour, will hopefully hide that sort of colour. But if I ever get a little bit maybe that I'm not too keen on or I don't like as such, sometimes an embellishment or the placement of a sentiment or something will work and hide any sort of like imperfection. But I've said it before during my videos, as much as we want our cards to be perfect, we don't want them to be too perfect that the recipient thinks that you've just gone to the shop and bought it. You want that handmade look, you want that bit of individuality, you're sort of reflecting your style of crafting. Now that I've done all the colours, I'm just using all 4 to ink over Now I'm not going to go back in with the honey drizzle. I'm just going to do the first 3 lighter shades. And as I said, there's no real science, it's just getting a look that you're happy with. So as you can see, it's quite a solid, even though it's got the lovely wave pattern, it is a solid stamp, so it does take quite a few repeat stamps to get a nice cover image. As you can see, my cards don't seem to be that perfect at the minute. One of my magnets seems to be leaving marks, which is frustrating, but something else that needs a good clean probably. So there's my background, and these are the 2 butterflies that I stenciled yesterday. Now I wasn't sure if I'd be able to get both on. As you can tell, I didn't really plan this card that well. I just had an idea and thought, oh, I'll go with it. To be honest, I think what I might do is use the blue butterfly like so, and then we will stamp a sentiment. I think I might do a little sentiment at the bottom using the alphabet solid, and somewhere I have, so yesterday we introduced Bright Butterflies, which is the stamp set, and the Bright Butterflies layering stencil. Oh, there it is up there. So originally Uniko stamps used to come in a DVD case, and then as the collection grew and grew, I started doing paper craft shows. I had to think about an alternative, going back to the standard sort of acetate packaging, which I was a little bit sad to do, but it's just, and it was coming down to a space issue as well in the studio that I share with my husband. So luckily he's at work today. It is half term here and the boys are quite quiet at the minute. I shouldn't speak too loudly. They're happy gaming with their friends online. So I've got the office, the studio to myself today. So I'm just going to secure this down first on my background, because then I can have a look at exactly where I'd like to place this butterfly. And then I'm going to stamp a little butterfly trail, and then I'm going to do a raised up little sentiment, I think. We'll see. As you can see, I'm just going with the flow today. I had a vague idea of what I wanted to do and show you, and I just went for it. It's actually been a nice day here today with the sunshine. The weather's been quite atrocious and mixed, lots of rain, lots of wind, so it's been nice to see the sunshine. So I was a little bit gutted that the fellas didn't want to go out anywhere, but it's meant that I've been able to crack on with some work. So as you can see, my ombre bit isn't perfect. I could have faffed about a little bit more with the inking to make this sort of mix here a little bit smoother. But as I say, there's always a way that you can distract from that sort of imperfection with how you embellish the card. So hopefully I'm in view. So I've just used some temporary adhesive just to hold my card in place. See, there's a little sort of like splotch here where it hasn't inked perfectly. But I thought, well, I could hide that a little bit with one of the wings. We'll stamp the little butterfly trail, and then we'll add a sentiment at the bottom. So I'm going to use black. Actually, I will use dark blue. We'll use the blue that I've used for the butterfly, which was Blueberry from Concord 9th. So usually I take my ink pad to my stamp rather than this way around, but when it's a delicate one, and this trail is quite delicate with the dots, I do the reverse so I don't get too much ink splodged on the stamp, which could affect the detail. So it depends what I'm inking as to which way I do it. I also do it with the alphabets. Sometimes I tend to take my stamp to the ink pad rather than the other way around. So I'm just looking for the last few little foam squares I have of my favourite depth, which is 1mm squares, and I'm just popping them down the centre of the butterfly because I just love being able to lift the wings up a little bit and give that sort of fluttering dimension look to the card. And I'm going to add a couple of, depends what colours I've got, enamel dots. I've got some light blue ones from Harbour, enamel dots. I don't think I used Harbour, or did I? The lighter blue, the lighter shade of the top wings might have been Harbour. I can't. Do you know what? My brain at the minute, I can never remember. Like, it was only yesterday that I showed you inking this butterfly through the stencil, and I can't even remember. I should write things down, but then I forget to write things down. I'm just going to add them just to this sort of floral here. This little flower, just for a little bit of something different. So then I'm going to go in and I think we'll do the sentiment in blue as well. And we'll do it in the darker shade of Blueberry. So I'm just going to move this out of the way just in case I get ink on it, because we don't want that to happen. So one sort of thing when I'm typing to my friends, sort of messaging, texting, I'll often say the sentiment, hey. Now, not everyone uses this sentiment, so it is perfect to be able to have an alphabet to stamp it. Maybe I should have pre-stamped and cut, but hey ho. We will do it in the video, so I apologise if the video is a little bit longer than normal. I do try to keep them under 30 minutes, but you know me, I love to chat. I don't edit videos. I don't know how at the minute. I could learn and spend time, but running a business is quite time consuming at times, and obviously I am a full-time mummy as well. Obviously they don't need me as much as they used to. They're a lot more independent and let me crack on with work. Now I could have gone ahead and stamped this direct onto my card, but the reason I'm not, because knowing me, I'll mess it up and then I'd have to start all over again. Hands up how many times that has happened to you. You thought, oh, I'll add this at the end of nearly doing your whole card. It's just finished, apart from adding the sentiment or something, adding it direct onto the card, and then you mess it up. Me. Lots of times. So I've got a damp cloth just next to me that I use, and I've got a little eraser here, so I'm cleaning off the ink. Blue isn't too bad, it doesn't stain your inks too much. The worst is red and pink. And as much as it doesn't really affect the stamping of your stamp, it stains them and it frustrates me, especially being able to see through them and line them up and things. So I try and clean them as I go along. Some inks obviously need a little bit more cleaning. So some of these haven't been used and they get a little bit sticky. I don't pay this extra to take off the sort of manufacturing process, because then I'd have to pay more for them and charge more, blah blah blah. We went into this yesterday or the other day when I did a video, and I try to keep my costs friendly, you know, that you're not paying over the odds, but enough for me to survive ish and bring you new stuff and bring other stuff out. So we're going to just quickly cut these out. As you know, I quite like fussy cutting. It doesn't faze me. I just take my time. And straight edges are a little bit easier than all the curves and things. So these shouldn't take too long. I'm just leaving a slight border. So you could do hey friend, but I'm just going to do hey because my friends know that they're my friend. And you never know, I might actually get round to posting some cards shortly with all these cards I'm making using the new release. I'm building up quite a nice stack. But then I do update my boards fairly regularly that I take to the shows. The next show for me is Gateshead, which isn't too far away. It was a good show last year. So I think it'll be another good one this year. I'm looking forward to it. I will be advertising the next Uniko stamping retreat on the website shortly, and obviously across social media. So that is in April as well, but I can guarantee it'll be a good one. There should be a new product or two. It might be just stencils, I haven't fully decided yet. I don't work mega in advance like a lot do. I try to plan bits and pieces, but things I don't fully finalize stuff because I'm terrible for changing my mind. So if you can see here, I'm just going around the outsides and then I go in and cut the detail. So it's not too bad. I will hopefully share either later today or on release day how you can use both the alphabets together. So this bit's a little bit trickier. I don't want to bend the E too much. But I have to say, card is quite forgiving sometimes. It's probably what the trickiest bit. Something's obviously happened in the game. I just heard a loud shout from one of them. The only thing they've come out for today is to tell me when they're hungry and they wanted food. Otherwise, they have been occupied all day. Between themselves and their friends. But I know some parents, and sometimes I do limit them on their gadgets, but it's the first proper day of half term, I suppose. They were out with Grandma and Granddad all day on Saturday. So I thought, I'll just let them get it out of their system. But with these two, they love gadgets, they love coding, they love gaming. There's always something one of them's up to. And one of them's usually modding something or doing something, and then usually ends up coming and asking Daddy to help him because he's done something to some gadget that wasn't supposed to happen. The joys of boys. But I think the weather's going to turn again, so they might even end up doing some crafting with me. So there's the alphabet. Now normally I'd probably adhere it using foam adhesive, but I think today, because the butterfly has is raised up, and I want to sort of hide these little bits of imperfection as such, I am gonna just adhere using double-sided tape. So I'm lining it up with my the edges of my block and trying to evenly space them. Now normally I'd use double-sided tape. I wouldn't use wet glue, but I am going to use wet glue because it's going to be a little bit quicker today. So I've got this multi-liquid glue. I think I have got it from Stamping Up in the past. I know they sold it, or they might still sell it. I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've bought anything, but it is handy, I have to say. So I'll do the exclamation mark, falling it over my words. So I'm just putting little dots and sort of spreading it about a little bit. I don't want it too wet that it ruckles my card. That is another thing why I don't use wet glue much, because it frustrates me when I get all these little ruckles and stuff. So I've done that, and then I'm going to add these two, and then we're finished for today. And I am so excited about tomorrow's products. They're just awesome. I mean, I know I'm being totally biased and maybe a little bit big-headed, but let's just say, if you like the style, one of my styles, which is the originally organic, so it's quite a distinctive sort of style of drawing that I use. If you like that style, I think you'll really like tomorrow's products. I'm not going to give too much away, but honestly, I'm really pleased how they've turned out, and I'm just excited to share them with you tomorrow. And that will, oh no, there's one more product day after that. One more product to introduce after tomorrow's, and it's another one that lots of you have been waiting for, so hopefully you'll be pleased with that one. So there is the alphabet solid paired with the background blocks, waves, and the butterfly that I stenciled yesterday here on YouTube. Thank you again for joining me, for bearing with me in my slow crafting today. I know I've been a little bit slower than I could have been, a little bit more prepared, but hey ho, I'm not perfect. So thank you again for joining me, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I've got lots more video ideas after all the release and February celebrations have come to an end. I've sort of, because I didn't do many at the beginning of the month, I've got some more ideas to share with you in March when things are a little bit quieter. So see you again tomorrow, and bye for now.